Okay, so last question for today. How do I know if I'm a Christian? So I've decided to follow Jesus, but I've got these questions. How do I know I'm really a Christian?
We bantered back a little bit forth about, is it a prayer? Just pray this prayer, boom, you're in. And then you don't have to worry about anything else. And I think even in one iteration you worded it like, how do I know if I'm a Christian? If I don't really care to read my Bible and I don't feel that passionate about church, like what if my desires aren't following the commitment I made? Or maybe more to the point, I'm still doing some things I thought I'd stop doing. I used to struggle with this, and maybe for 3 weeks after my baptism or after my commitment to Jesus, man, it was like the light shone, the clouds parted, and I just lived a wonderful life. And then all of a sudden this stuff came back like a hurricane. And so am I actually a Christian? I think we talked about this on Sunday. It was just a farce. My baptism a farce. And you know that you're in a battle, that there's an evil one who wants to take you out. And especially for someone who's sort of newer into the game, but for all of us, we all got these bullseyes painted on our chest. And so we know we're in a battle. I guess my answer to that person would largely be an illustration I would use from being married. So it's going to be something like 33 years ago in about a week or two, I stood in front of a crowd of people, and I was prepared to stand in front of 8 billion people on the planet and say, Colleen Lynn Brown, I take you to be my wife. And she said the same thing to me, Andrew, I take you to be my husband. And then that's it. We're married. Before that, like 3 minutes before that, we weren't married. And all of a sudden we were married and husband and wife and declared so. There have been too many times in my life where I've not behaved like the husband I'm in covenant to be, that I promised to be. So in those moments, what do I do? I got to go run back to the preacher. I said, preacher, we got to get married again because the first one didn't take. We need to do over and start all over again. You say, no. You would say to me, Lynnita, my friend, you say, Andrew, no, you're married. That's settled. You learn how to be married, and you can do this better. I mean, you might not say it that way, but you can do it. So have at this. My status before the Heavenly Father, before Jesus who died on the cross for me, is a settled deal. I entered into a covenant that used His blood to write the deal out. And so He knows who I am, where I am, and how I stand before Him. And there'll be some things I'm going to have to work out. In fact, probably every 5 years of my married life, you may say the same about yours, I'm like, oh, now I understand what I was saying when I was 25 years old and just staring at this gorgeous woman. Now I understand. Okay, I'm ready to get married now. But this is the way God works. He doesn't ask us to, give our marriage vows at the end of our lives when we finally know what we're getting into. Just like He doesn't ask us to get baptized at the end of our Christian faith because now you know what you're committing to. He's like, no, that's a kickoff point. That's where the game is going to start. And you are going to rest in this confidence that the living God of all glory has you. Now figure it out. It's like being married. You are going to rest in the fact that you are married. That's not up for grabs. You're married, settled.
In the Bible, when God talks about His relationship with us, one of the images that He uses is of a marriage and of He being married to an unfaithful partner, and He is never letting go. He's chasing after us, and I just love that steadfast love of His. So that's a great image that you've given us there.
Yeah. What is this thing rooted in?
Yeah.
Right? If it's rooted in my performance or our performance, it's never going to be enough. And God knows that. And so instead He says, this is rooted in my love. I love that you would remind us of that. I think the Old Testament term is hesed love, this steadfast love, this pursuing, relentless, not changing love. And sadly, up and down like toilet seats sometimes, we can go spiritually, and God says, okay, I got it. Learn to stay close. Let's learn to walk closely. This has been the beat of God's heart since the garden. I want to walk with you. And so, the end of the story, the end of Revelation, or the beginning of the new story, is this bride coming out of heaven, and now the dwelling place of God is with women and men.